Hello and welcome everyone to the next part of our no-kill, no-detection playthrough for Dishonored. I'm Maxwell McGee, joined once again by the one, the only. That's your cue.
Oh, hey, it's Chris Waters,
there
folks.
You go.
What's up, Maxwell?
Thanks for sitting in with me, Chris.
Yeah.
Today we're going through Mission 4, which is Caldwin's Bridge.
And we are fixing to abduct Anton Sokolov.
We're going to abduct noted painter and inventor Anton Sokolov. So right away, I'm moving pretty quickly through this part, but you want to get up nice and high. A lot of my playthroughs, I like to stay up high on the rooftops, on top of these like girders and walkways, because those allow you to stay out of the view range of most of the guards down below, who just like to chitter chatter and gossip amongst themselves.
And this is a pretty heavily guarded area. You got that alarm down there. I find usually hopping to the top of these guard shacks is a neat way to just be above it all. The guards don't tend to look up.
Yeah, they don't tend to look up. You can get a nice overview. This guy right over here, you don't necessarily have to choke him out, but I think I'm going to do it anyway.
And it could be risky depending on where the guys are behind you, but this dude is going to go to bed.
Went ahead and went with it anyway. Also, I was very happy he didn't accidentally slip over the railing. That is something that happens sometimes, and then they fall and they drown and it gets kind of messy.
And then so much for your no-kill playthrough.
And then that ruins the no-kill playthrough. So we've made it past the first handful of guards here, inside of this little warehouse. I forget exactly where I'm going next.
This is just a whole neat little bridge structure that's more like a street with proper buildings and everything just built over water. Yeah. So you're doing a little looting here. Always good to pick up the loot.
It's going to be a while before we reach the bridge itself. There are a lot of extra little side streets and side missions. I think in this playthrough I do actually collect all of the runes and bone charms in this level. They're all pretty... They're not necessarily easy to get, but they're easy to find.
Excellent.
So I picked up some schematics there. I think those are for the silent boots, which is a really handy upgrade to get, especially if you're trying to be super stealthy.
Yeah, in later missions I could straight up sprint around guards and they would really not become alerted to my presence. I mean, not with impunity.
Yeah, you can't just like run straight up to them.
Stay tuned to our later stuff. But what are you doing here? There's a little bit of a mechanism at work.
Yeah, so there was a little minecart down below, a little Donkey Kong Country action going on down there, and we're gonna hitch a ride on that minecart. But first, we needed to grab some processed whale oil to power it up. So we got our whale oil. We're gonna flip the switch and then quickly clamber into the cart, and then make sure you're ducked down because you just don't want to be standing up like a goof. The guards, completely oblivious to the fact that an empty minecart's just out rolling around. I'm sure this sort of thing.
Like whatever, it's a warehouse. There's no workers in it, but you know that's what it would be doing if there were workers. So
everything must be just completely normal.
They're too busy listening to those stupid speaker announcements. You know, I like shot down almost every one of them that I saw.
You can shoot down the speaker thing?
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know that. I never even tried that.
Yeah, you blast the little joint above them. It makes a ruckus. So, you know, not the stealthiest move, but kind of satisfying.
I never even thought to do
I thought
that.
there would be an achievement associated with it. Turns out there wasn't.
I just assumed it would be like an invincible environmental object.
No, I shot down the one outside the Houndstooth pub really quickly because...
I got to hang out with that one the whole game.
Shut up already, guy.
So there you go, pro tip. You can blow up those sound speaker things. So I've gone into this apartment across the street here. We can't hear it, but hopefully you folks watching the video can. There is a slight murmur coming from behind that wooden door. There is a rune back there.
Oh, bam, there it is.
There it is, but we cannot immediately get to it. So I'm looking around here thinking to myself, how am I going to get to this rune? What am I going to do? The door is locked. There's no way through the rest of the apartment, so I've gone outside. Just off to the left, there's a little alleyway next to the apartment.
Just out the window, right?
Well, yeah, just out the window and around to the left. And if you go back here and drop down to the street level when nobody's looking, you can actually slip behind the apartment here and, oh look! A chain, a conveniently placed chain.
Chain.
So you can just, really glad I managed to catch that there. You can just hop on the chain, teleport up, and you'll be able to slip in the back and pick up that rune, which we're about to do right now. You can also get a little preview there off to the right of an area we'll be visiting in just a moment down there with those two guards. I guess if you really wanted to plan ahead, you could actually use your sleep darts to incapacitate those two guards before you go down there in person.
So now you've unblocked it from the other side.
Yep, and now as you can see, we're right back where we started. One rune richer.
You could probably actually head back down that way just by diving in the water. Are you going to go through?
Oh yeah, that's true. So I've noticed over there, some of the guards, they heard me chopping through the boards, but they can't actually get into the apartment, nor will they look up at where the apartment is, so you really have nothing to worry about.
You get a lightning bolt or two, nothing to be concerned about.
Nothing to be concerned about. So right there, you can just go straight through the door with the marker on it, and that'll advance you to the next part, or you can take the little side door like we did, and that leads you to this little side street, little side drainage bridge over here, which is guarded by 2 guards. Initially, they are hanging out next to each other, so we're just going to play the waiting game until they split up.
Yeah, they're having a nice little chat.
That little powwow, wowing some pals, talking about the ghost minecart that was out rolling around earlier today.
Weird, huh? Yeah. Oh, nap time.
Oh, nap time.
This guy's just totally unperturbed.
Yep, this guy, not too worried about it.
Save the sleep dart on that dude.
So I rolled up on him with the magic of editing and choked him out. There's his buddy. He's hanging out too. And then if you head along up here, you can teleport over, and I'm pretty sure there's a bone charm over this way. I think that's what we're going for.
You can morph down some whale meat.
You can also morph down so much whale meat.
So this is another area. You can blink to the top of this, or you can straight up bring this bridge down.
Yeah, I could have
just
flipped
walk
the switch.
across it and then bring yourself back up it.
Yeah.
But you want to be careful because there's a weeper in here.
Yes, there is a weeper in here. I was also going to note that when you teleport up onto the bridge, if you just straight try to blink up to it, I found that I would almost always fall off. So you want to be tapping the jump button so that you grab the ledge after you finish the teleport.
Nice.
So there we go. We take out the weeper. I took him out from a distance. You might be able to sneak up on him, but he's pretty twitchy and will totally vomit all over your clothes.
Yeah, and of course, if a weeper is barfing on you, you've already been detected.
You've already been detected, then you got to start over. I mean, you notice I was trying to get behind him, and he already had 2 lightning bolts before I could even roll up on him. So I just decided to play it safe, go with the sleep dart. So we've advanced to the next area here. I forget what this guy's name is, but he's got a fancy house, and that is what we're concerned with.
Yeah.
So him and the guard have a little bit of banter back and forth. They talk about how much of a jerk Sokolov is and how he's making all this money, and how this rich guy wants to make money too at the expense of others.
I just want to make money. I'm a rich guy.
He is. So we're going to go in there and give him a little neck squeeze.
Night, night, rich guy. Right in the foyer.
Right in the foyer. Close the door. Perfect crime. Boom. No one will ever know.
This is the Pratchett of Pratchett's Jelly Deals Empire?
Holy cow, is that really? That is what they're called. Holy cow. I didn't even realize that. I wanted to make sure, since he's a person of note, I want to make sure he's comfortable.
Yeah,
I mistimed my throw there a little bit, but He's
going to end up with a sprained ankle. Nothing worse for wear.
Yeah. The spirit's the safe. So you go through his house, and eventually you find this safe. Now, of course, you can hear the whispers, you can hear the chanting. There's a rune inside the safe. We want to get it. And in order to get it, you need to look at this note.
And it's a little cryptic little puzzle thing.
Yep, nice little side puzzle for you to figure out. Also, just hoof down a box of cigarettes there real quick. So you need to find these paintings. Boom. Number 3, number 4, and number 7. I don't think that's actually the order they need to be entered in, but we'll find out here in just a second.
There you go. I really like the paintings all spread throughout this whole game. It's sort of, you see what the whaling ships look like, which, you can glimpse from the title screen, but you don't get to see them too often.
Yeah, the game does a lot of nice, subtle touches like that, with the books and the articles you can read, and with the paintings in the world, of just, telling a story without, just straight somebody giving you exposition about, here's how the whaling ships work.
Although it does do a fair amount of in-your-face exposition towards the beginning.
Well, that's Samuel's whole job.
That is Samuel's job. Boatman is just a hobby.
Row the boat and give you just plenty of exposition. So we've gone across the street to a seemingly empty apartment, which does in fact turn out to be an empty apartment. I thought this was the apartment we needed to be in, but it's not. It's the one next door to the house we were just in, which I'm about to figure out in just a moment. Boom,
right.
There it is.
I really want to...
The disco apartment.
That one is purple.
And I know, they got their funky disco lights going on. Boom, magic of editing. I totally meant to teleport up here, and now I just did. Instead of down there to that roof.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. So if we turn on our Satan vision, we can see inside.
Now that guy, you can get an idea for who's awaiting you by their profile. That's obviously not a guard. It doesn't...
I know, he's very twitchy. You can hear him in there. He's like, I'm the one who sees everything. No one's gonna sneak up on me.
Yeah, he's too quick and alert for a weeper. He's just a dude who's gone a little crazy.
His profile is also a bit skinnier. Most of the guards, they have those big bulky uniforms, whereas the citizens are much thinner.
And actually, if you read the journals around this apartment, you figure out that basically the rune drove this guy crazy.
Yeah, there's a kind of a sad 3-part story as to what happened to this guy.
There you go, boom, rune, and you're gonna have a little chat with your friendo here.
Yeah, our chat with the our mystery man. He's gonna tell us about, you know, the flow, how rivers work, and then boom, he's gone. Give us a quick update, you know, on these natural phenomenon we call rivers.
Metaphor.
And he's on his way.
Cryptic.
Cryptic. So cryptic.
Thanks, Outsidey.
So here.
It's fine.
You and old Outsidey just hanging out together.
It's an affectionate term.
So we're about to actually get some real work done here in just a second. We've been going around stealing everything from everybody.
Once you get past that first checkpoint, it's pretty easy, but now you're entering this really quite heavily fortified, proper bridge part.
Yeah, this is the stage proper. So you can go ahead to the right at the fork there, but that takes you to like an arc pylon, about half a dozen guards. They're all hanging out, chattering about how sometimes people accidentally get killed by the arc pylon if you don't follow standard procedure, so they're all a little bit freaked out about that.
And so they're all like right in around here, so you like if you're using a little bit of dark eye here and there, it'll definitely help you out.
There are 2 guards in that little room there that we just got a quick peek at, but I teleported across that bridge, sort of circumvented the whole thing, and you want to make sure you go around and disable this whale oil tank before you head up these stairs, because there's going to be another arc pylon that's just right smack dab in your way. And it's much easier to get around it if it's already turned off. This guy...
He's just like, meh, power went out,
I know,
whatever.
He's just very confused, just like, I don't even know. And then, you know what, you deny a little bit of oxygen to his brain. I'm sure that's not going to help his confusion any, but it's going to help us.
But he's going to get a nice, relaxing nap.
It'll help us get a little further in the stage. So you go up about 600,000 stairs, and eventually you see, boom, this guy. This guy totally caught me like 3 different times. I always forget that he's waiting for me up there, but I got him this time. I didn't want to take any chances, so I hit him with the sleeve dart. But if you wait, I'm sure you can run up and choke him out too.
Sometimes you just need a dart.
Yeah. So up here, we can activate the bridge controls. This will raise like the small access bridge and allow you pretty much to just walk across it in open sight without people paying attention, because I guess
And that's raising the whole thing.
You're up high a couple of feet.
Yeah.
And people don't notice. So I took this opportunity to do a little skip and dance.
Yeah, a little hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about.
Alternate route, you can actually climb up inside the structure of both of these ends of the drawbridge and go across the top.
Oh,
I believe.
Actually, that sounds pretty cool.
And so then you end up climbing back down. There's some chains, there's blinking, but obviously skipping across the drawbridge totally works. I will say that when I took out whale oil canisters, I invariably hucked them out into the river.
That's what I always want to do, because I figured like if I was really there, you would want to destroy the canisters, not just leave them right there for Joe Schmo to come up and be like, oh,
just put this back in.
I guess I'll just stick this back in.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of dialogue about that as you teleport down. They're like, hey, do you think somebody should go up and check the whale oil canisters? Guy's like, well, the lights were working just fine. And then eventually they, luckily, decide not to go up and check them out. So you can just leave them out there. By the time they realize it, it's all too late.
Yeah, and if you miss your throw, you cause an explosion. And
it does, it will explode in the water, so that will draw their attention.
So we're almost past this checkpoint, but that guard was... Yeah, he was pretty well canvassing that area.
Yeah, he's looking straight at where we need to go over there. But there doesn't seem to be really anybody around him, and the booth that he's in will help muffle the sound a little bit. So I'm gonna hedge my bets, take my chances here. Pop, pop.
Get him one in the neck.
You could have, we could have also teleported up onto the guard booth, teleported across, and then dropped down into his guard booth and taken him out that way. But for the sake of expediency, we're just gonna pop.
A little dart to the neck.
A little dart to the neck, and now I'm looking around because I don't quite remember exactly who all is in this area, but I'm pretty sure I'm clear, and away we go.
There's also some mischief you can get up to. At the beginning of the bridge, there's some thugs that are like, my buddy's trapped underneath the place. He knows where the stash is.
Yeah.
And that dude is a jerk. You get him out of jail, and he's like, come on this way. And you go walk down onto the bridge, there's some river crusts.
Okay.
You kill him, and then he's like, yeah, the stash is this way. And then he gets there, and he's like, on second thought, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna punch you in the face.
You're like, God damn it, dude. So probably not the best way to go if you're you know, not good for a no detection playthrough, because once that dude turns hostile, it counts as detecting.
So there's a very real chance it'll botch your whole playthrough.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't do it.
Exactly.
There you go. So now we are approaching, we're on approach to Sokolov's house. We've crossed the bridge. About another half dozen guards there in that area, so we're taking the long way around. We have to get up there to that control booth, though, because there is a wall of light, you can see it right there, that is blocking our way, and we need to get past it. So if we just take a little peek around the corner.
Oh, look at this guy.
You see that guy? He's totally looking at you, but since we're leaning instead of just standing.
Oh, I don't know.
I know, he's starting to think about it. There we go. Move out
Like,
of the way a little bit.
I might see something over there.
I might just, forget it.
Feel a little.
They don't pay me enough to be
Somebody
suspicious.
watching me. Maybe I just have to go to the bathroom.
So this part, I screwed up a little bit. I think if you wait for him to get all the way into the guard booth, it'll muffle the sound. But now he's gone and fallen on the stairs outside.
Oh.
And I'm getting some lightning bolts down there, so I'm like, okay, gotta move.
It's cool, it's cool.
So flip the switch. Switch is flipped, but there's a glass window there. So it's a little hard to notice. So I just sort of took a leap of faith.
Blind blinking.
Yeah, blind blinked my way across this railing here. And now I'm like, am I cool? Am I cool? Everything's cool? Everything's cool. All right.
Turned out okay.
So here we go, we got the whale oil tank. This time I decided instead of just leaving it right there out in the open, I'd at least go down here, try to hide it a little bit.
Just a little.
Make their job just a little bit harder. But now...
Eyes back around.
Yeah, the guards, they're starting to wander around, maybe a little suspicious about the noises.
So that switch actually doesn't turn off the wall of light, but what it does do is stop these wheels from turning, I think.
Oh, right.
So
it does.
You can sneak back around and come through these big gaps in the wheel that you see to the right here. Or
I was totally wrong about that. Yeah, that's what the switch does.
Blink all up over that thing.
You can also, if you have bend time, which I think we have, but we're not using as part of these videos, just because we want to keep it simple. You can stop time, and that'll stop the wheels. And you can just mosey through them that way
problem.
as well.
I mean, at this point, you've gotten a bunch of runes. You're not spending them on the crazy death skills, so you should be close to or have enough to get bend time too, which is super fun and super useful, especially for stealth, and especially a little later on in some of the tougher situations.
So once again, we could just go through that door to the front there. That'll take us, I think, to the final part of the mission, but there's one more side quest that I want to attend to, and that is helping this poor woman in the basement of this building. There's a bone charm in it for you, and a lot of other little goodies scattered throughout for you to loot.
Yep, a bunch of lootable cubbies and stuff.
Which I'm going to start out here, and then we're going to skip ahead to the basement scene. Because, there's a big part upstairs you can go to, and there's a couple of potions and things.
So you're down here, and now there's just a horde of rats threatening this woman. She's terrified.
Because rats, in fact, are terrifying. Even if they didn't totally eat people, if I was in a basement and there was a big horde of rats, I wouldn't want to get down there and walk around
Even
with
if
them.
you hadn't seen them skin and
rip the flesh from a dude's bones and then also eat his bones too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways you can take care of these rats, but this is one of the rare opportunities we have in our no-kill, no-detection playthrough to use grenades!
Shaboom!
Shaboom! One shot, one kill.
So many rats dead. And that lady
This lady, she can quit hugging herself.
Oh, thank you.
There we go. She's very grateful.
Didn't I help you last mission, lady?
Probably.
You were having a tough time.
So she just sort of wanders off. She's like, hey, thanks, and then just leaves. But, we got a bone charm out of it, so all's well that ends well.
And then it's off to where Sokolov lives in the north end.
Finally! There he is. We must extract Sokolov before his beard manages to take over what little is left of his face.
Such a hirsute man.
Between his hair and his beard, it's just almost completely encompassed.
He needs to trim it on the regular, or else it will just go into his mouth and suffocate him. So this place is a little worse for wear. You caught a glimpse up there. Some of the crumbled apartment buildings we're going to be presumably sort of popping through up here.
Oh, but wait a minute. First things first, though, there is yet another little trinket, another little bone charm waiting for us over there. So we're definitely going to have to collect that.
We must have it.
We must have it.
Precious.
So I sort of zip around here. You can actually just sort of throw yourself at these boards, and everything works out.
Hey, it worked out okay.
So just sort of face plant yourself against that wall there and chop your way through.
If you happen to have unlocked Wind Blast at this point, that's like the one time I used it in a totally appropriate, no detection, no kill way, was blowing open those wooden doors. But Looks like it wasn't even
There
necessary.
you go. You just... Also, you got a quick glimpse of it there, but there are some, like, prisoners being held behind a wall of light in that crumbled building across the street. We're not going to actually go and extract them, but that's a fun activity that you can do yourself on your own time.
Meanwhile, we're climbing up some chimneys.
Meanwhile, we're going to actually completely skip the entirety of Sokolov's house by hopping onto this little ledge over here. I actually discovered this, like, I played through the game, I went through, did his whole house, and then when I was going back through to do this guide, you can actually just skip up here onto his roof, and with a little careful blinking, just hop onto that rooftop that leads to his posh little private garden, and extract him that way, without having to go through the house, you know, go through, take out all the guards, circumvent all of his traps, and all that whatnot.
Neat. Got a cush detail up here.
Yeah.
Oh, all he has to do is watch that one chain.
He's got the best patrol spot in town. Again, could have just rolled up and choked him out. Didn't really need to trank dart him, but spin him if you got him.
And you know what? Thank goodness for guardrails.
Hey, that's right. Safety first, folks.
What's up, Sokolov?
Sokolov, boom, neck hug.
You can have a chat with this dude. It's not gonna, like, mess up your detection because he doesn't get hostile. He doesn't get...
Oh, that's right. He doesn't get hostile.
If you want to, like, see what's up with him a little bit, but this is very effective too. And you just went ahead and freed this lady who is totally carrying some virulent strain of the plague that Sokolov has engineered. What have you done, Maxwell?
Well, you know, I like to imagine that it was the same lady from the rat nest down below, because I think it's the same character model.
Yep.
She just like got out and then just immediately recaptured by somebody. So she's having a rough day. I just want to help her out. So I'm just blinking my way across these rooftops again. Stay high, stay safe. Oh, that's bad advice, but you want to stay up high.
Stay elevated.
Stay elevated. Stay safe.
Now, normally, you know, if it was just you, go ahead and jump down in the water, swim to safety.
Pop both your ankles out, no big deal.
But unconscious person plus water equals drowning victim.
Yes.
So do not take Sokolov for a swim.
So boom, do a little careful.
That was daring. I like that,
careful
Maxwell.
blinkage there, a little bit of skill going on.
Little flair, and that brings us to the end of our Mission 4 playthrough.
We'll catch up with Samuel. We're gonna throw this fat man in the boat and we'll be on our way.
Thanks for joining us, folks. Be sure to join us for Mission 5 as we go to a sweet party.